me. And so I'm just going to rearrange here. I'm teaching outdoors again today, and we've transitioned, of course, into the fall weather on the coast. And so dressing in layers. And so when you're ready, as always, I'd like to invite you to begin your yoga practice by finding a comfortable sitting position. And so it's challenging for our nervous system to calm down if we were uncomfortable in our bodies. When you're ready, bring your hands together in prayer pose if this is easy for you. A gentle reminder that we never forfeit balance to come into a pose or movement. So if this placement of your hands causes you to lose your balance, choose another placement for your hands. And then an invitation to take a moment to allow yourself to consciously enter into the present. And setting aside whatever was going on for you before the class for the duration, knowing that we can come back to that after class. And when you're ready, release your arms by your side. Let's go over a little bit. Turn your palms face up. And then turn your palms face down. Notice which feels better for you. Palms face up or palms face down. And then an invitation to move your hands. So shaking your hands vigorously, if this feels okay for you. And maybe reaching up a little higher. So saying good morning to our ancestors, our loved ones. Virtually imagining that we're just waving hello to all the folks that are out there today. In the coming days, maybe participating in the class. And then just like you're shaking water off your hands, lay your arms so down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs or your knees. Palm face up or down as desired. And then an invitation to move your gaze downward. And so a soft gaze on the earth or the floor in front of you, 3 or 4 feet, can be calming for our nervous system. And so moving away from the busyness in our minds and more towards our heart. Ground through your sits bones. Let the weight of your hands ground down through your legs, giving you a sense of connection with Mother Earth. And lengthen up through your spine. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And from here, we'll transition into mindful movement. Pardon me. So not mindful, however, mindful. So as you're ready, reach your arm up to the sky. And then slowly float your arm down. So gentle movement, same side, 3 more times, reaching up to the sky. And then slowly float your arm down. So let's explore adding a gentle breath to the movement on inhale, reaching up, full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down the full length of your exhale. It's as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Release both arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs or your knees, and we'll begin the practice on the other side. So reach your other arm up to the sky, then slowly float your arm down. A gentle movement, reaching up, and this time turning your gaze up if it doesn't create tension in your neck. And then slowly float your arm down. So 3 more times, reaching up, full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down the full length of your exhale. It's as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. So reaching up to the sky. Be careful not to throw your head back. And then slowly float your arm down. Release your arms by your side. Turn your palms face up. This time on inhale, reaching both arms up to the sky. So your arms might be a little in front of you, maybe more in line with your ears. Maybe it feels good to place your arms in goddess arms or goalposts if you'd like. And whatever your position of your arms are. So for me today, it's going to be up and closer to my ears. Take a look between your palms if it doesn't create tension in your neck. And notice if they're facing each other. And then return your gaze on the horizon. So it's not about forcing one arm to do what the other is doing. We just want them talking to each other. Fold your fingers in, pressing into the palms of your hands. There is a sensitive point in the palms of our hands. Or maybe placing your hands on the back of your head. And together we can shout out, I am. I can. And I will. And with a sigh of relief, float your arms down by your side. Oh. And a little shake out, wiggly fidgets. I'm just going to move over a little bit. There we go. So it's good. I have a visual of whoever's participating live in the class and of myself, so I get some feedback about where my body is in space. And so if anything I share with you today does not feel comfortable, if it doesn't feel right, skip it and come back to your breathing. And so when we're focused on our breath, we are practicing yoga. And so let's repose. Make sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor or on your footrest. We want to keep our connection with Mother Nature. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones, maybe noticing where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Energy moving in 2 directions, lengthen from the tip of your tailbone all the way up through to the crown of your head. So you might imagine you have a thread on top of your head. So lifting you up to the sky. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. So if it's easy for you, place 2 fingers on your chin. And then imagine a turtle. And so from here, we'll transition into simple neck rolls to help relieve some of the tension in our neck and our shoulders. And so If the slightest movement makes you feel uncomfortable, if it hurts, skip it. Visualize the movement. So imagination is powerful. Feel as though you're doing the movement. And that can be a lovely starting point. And so as you're ready, begin with simple neck rolls. And move your head in the opposite direction. And see if you can resist the temptation or urge to move your head to its full length of motion. Move your head up and down as if nodding yes. On inhale, look up and drop your chin towards your chest. So if at any point my cueing with the breath doesn't work for you, move in your own time and rhythm. On inhale, look up and drop your chin towards your chest. When you're ready, turn your gaze looking past your shoulder. Pause, and then visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. See if you can create a little half smile, like a little Buddha smile. And when you're ready, move your head back through center, gazing past your other shoulder. Pause. And then imagine moving your chin up and down slightly. And bring your head back through center. Drop your ear towards your shoulder. If you'd like, release your opposite arm down by your side and then pushing through the palm of your hand, reach your arm up to the sky. So it's not about forcing the movement, but allowing it to happen. And slowly float your arm down, bring your head back center. So 3 more times on the same side. So drop your ear towards your shoulder. Release your opposite arm by your side if you'd like, and then pressing through the palm of your hand, reach your arm up to the sky. And slowly float your arm down. Head comes back center. This time, bring your palm face up at your heart. Drop your ear towards your shoulder. Release your opposite arm by your side, reaching up to the sky. Avoid collapsing forward. And finish up the movement that you're on if you haven't already. Hand comes back, face up at the heart, and release. Release both arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your lap and take a moment to notice how that movement made you feel. And so we'll begin the practice on the other side. So whatever we do on one side, we do on the other if possible. So drop your ear towards your shoulder. Release your opposite arm by your side. Pushing through the palm of your hand, reach your arm up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. Head comes back center. So bring your head back center, palm face up at the heart. And 3 more times. Drop your ear towards your shoulder. Release your opposite arm by your side. Pushing through the palm of your hand, reach your arm up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down, head comes back center, palm face up at the heart. And so 2 more times. Drop your ear towards your shoulder. Release your opposite arm by your side, pushing through the palm of your hand. Reach your arm up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. Head comes back center, palm face up. One last time. So taking a break anytime you like, a pause. And so drop your ear towards your shoulder, release your opposite arm by your side, pushing through the palm of your hand. Reach your arm up to the sky. And slowly finish up the movement that you are on. Release both arms by your side, rest your hands on your thighs. And notice, how's your breath? It's our old friend, our breath. Notice any subtle sensations. Trust that the sensations are there. It's not going to be a rocket ship passing by in the sky. And so moving on, we'll just do a little wiggly fidget. So a little bum dance. So a friend of mine sent me an email one day and it said, dance like a toddler. They don't care who's watching. And so at this time, I'd like to invite you to, if it's possible, to walk your hips forward in the chair. And so you come forward about 2/3 of the way. If you're wanting or needing the back of the chair for support today, honor that. I know some of you have amazing chairs that are supportive. And so yoga meets us exactly where we are. And then an invitation to place your feet approximately hip distance apart. And so I'm just going to see if I can tilt my iPad a little bit so that you can see. So, oh, a little too much. Well, in a perfect world. So, little trick I use sometimes is to fist distance apart between my knees to cue hip distance apart. And so notice how that placement feels for you. If your feet might be that your feet are parallel. And so if this works for you, if it feels comfortable, in other words, if it feels stable, wonderful. However, it is not one size fits all. We don't all wear the same pair of gum boots, shoes. Place your feet in whatever way feels comfortable for you. And then from here, we'll transition into a practice to help relieve some of the tension in our face. And so I was quite surprised when I discovered that one of the hardest places to relieve tension is in our face. And so we're going to make some dreadful faces together. And so when you're ready, open your mouth wide. And release. Stretch. So face yoga. Open your mouth wide again this time. See if you can bring your lips over your teeth. And release. And now I'd like you to pull all your facial muscles towards your nose. So you just bit into a lemon. And release. Inevitably, I don't know, this practice makes me laugh. So soft fists. You have a yoga buddy that can share with you today. They might be helping with the practice by guiding. So, or they could gently, if you're comfortable with that, place their hand or soft fist at your jaw. And so create resistance. We hold a lot of tension in our jaw, sometimes taking that in from one day to the next. And then other side, you don't want to stay there too long. You don't want to create lockjaw. So creating resistance. So you might lean your elbow on something, maybe hold it up with your other arm. And release. And now bring a soft fist to your third eye, middle of your forehead. So lots of conversations, ideas about where and what the third eye is. And so it is not rocket science. The third eye is the middle of the forehead, the front part of our brain. When we put gentle pressure here, it is calming for our nervous system. When you're ready, reach your arm up and over, place your hand on the side of your head, and again, creating resistance. Other side, reaching up and over, hand on the side of your head, create resistance. Now, if it's easy for you, interlacing your fingers, place your hands at the base of your skull, and then gently press your hands against your head, or your head against your hands. If you have a headrest, it might work to press your head gently against your headrest. Or again, if you have a yoga buddy, pressing gently against their hands. And feel lovely. And then slowly out of that pose and movement, give your hands a little shake up. So wiggly fidgets. So again, so let's walk our bottom forward in the chair a little and then walk back. Or it might be that you shift your weight from one side to the other, pulling the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. Pulling my shirt down. Yeah, so notice how you feel. So not about what we look like in our yoga practice. The diagnostic tool is how do I feel? And then when you're ready, reach your arms in front of you, stretch your palms, and then take your fingertips to your shoulder. Stretch your palms, fingertips to your shoulders, and then maybe alternating from side to side. So when we alternate from side to side, this can be good for our brain health, particularly our memory. When you're ready, release your arms by your side, turn your palms face up, soft, bending your elbows, bring your hands or your fingertips to your shoulders or wherever you can reach comfortably. And then imagine you're drawing circles on the screen in front of you with your elbow points. So remember your little half smile, little Buddha smile. When we smile, it releases saliva. You want a nice juicy mouth and juicy body. We all know what it's like to go to the dentist and then reverse the direction. As you're ready, slowly come out of the movement, float your arms down, and take a moment to let your breath settle. And so moving on, let's do some work with our hands and our wrists. So stretch your palms. So you might imagine starfish and then bear claw. So those first knuckles are bent. And then soft fist. Starfish, bear claw, soft fist. Starfish, bear claw, soft fist. Circle your wrists in one direction. And circle your wrists in the opposite direction. So notice, is one wrist tighter than the other? So as human beings, we tend to be tighter on one side. And then imagine that you're playing piano. You're getting that synovial fluid, Mother Nature's WD-40 flowing into all the little joints in her fingers. Turn your palms face up. Circle your thumbs in one direction. Circle your thumbs in the opposite direction. If it's available to you and you would like, reach your thumb over to the base of your little finger. And then release. So repeat that 3 more times, reaching over. Actually, reach to wherever you can reach comfortably. And open. 2 more times in your own time and rhythm. So I'm here if you need a visual. And then open, finish up the movement that you're on. Interlace your fingers loosely, or maybe taking hold of your elbow points. And then an invitation to draw the infinity symbol. So today I'm going to interlace my fingers. And so when we move with our breath, magical things happen. And then reverse the direction. It's a little more challenging, you might notice. Move in the opposite direction. Then release your hands, reach your arms up to the sky. And so get bigger in space, stretch into the stretch. We tend to shrink. Fold your fingers into the palms of your hands, or maybe placing your hands on the back of your head. And this time, rather than saying, I can, let's put a we in front of it. The phrases, and shout it out. We are. I can't hear you. We can. And we will. And with a sigh of relief, float your arms down. Whew. And a little shake out again. I'm just going to keep my eye on the time. So I will create some time at the end of the practice for any conversation feedback that you would like. 10 minutes, hopefully before the end of our hour together. And so let's rub our palms vigorously, energize your hands, warm up your hands. So the hands are hands. The most beautiful part of our body, in my humble opinion, are connected not only to our heart, but to our mind as well. And so setting intention as self-nurturing. I'd like to invite you to bring your fingertips to the back of your scalp, or neck, pardon me. And again, if you have a partner that can do this for you, that would be wonderful. So tapping lightly, and then bring your hands up to the crown of your head, and then tapping lightly. And out loud or silently, you could say, wake up, brain. Wake up, brain. I used to work afternoon shifts and I'd wake up tired and I'd look at myself in the mirror doing this for, I don't know, a couple of years. Wake up, brain. And then shampoo your hair. So a little bit of Indian head massage. And then give your hands a little shake out. And then bring your fingertips to your mid upper chest and tap. So tapping in this area can be calming for our nervous system. And so, however, that said, we don't want to overdo the tapping in this area. So I was saying middle path. And then leaning back in your chair, if you'd like, bring your hands to your belly, Buddha belly, your low belly, and massage your organs. So your liver, your stomach, the soft Buddha belly. And then when you're ready, if it's available to you and you would like, lean forward in your chair a little bit. So we are going to be doing movements of the spine and so on. And so make sure when you come to class, if you plan on coming ongoing, that you have whatever device you need to keep you stable in your chair. So if balance is an issue, having whatever device is supportive for you. And so leaning forward in your chair just a little, bring your hands to your lower back, or you could even imagine that visualize that I'm massaging your lower back. If you can reach up a little higher where your kidneys and adrenal glands live. So adrenal glands are almond shaped. They sit on top of our kidneys. And they're really close to the surface. So important to keep this area warm. And then as you're ready, maybe using one hand to press down into your sacrum to help sit up tall. Sweep your hands forward. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. And so moving on, let's sweep down along our thighs, our knees. If you're able to come down a little further along your shins, so you might even be able to reach your feet. So if walking your feet forward a little bit is helpful, go for it. Lifting the balls of your feet, there's a sensitive point just below our toes in the mid part of our foot, so marma point. Press there if you'd like. And come on back up. And then one more time, sweeping down along our thighs, our knees. Coming forward to wherever feels comfortable for you. And then sweeping back up. So place your hands either resting on your thighs facing each other or maybe up a little higher, a few inches apart. And close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. And notice any subtle sensations. So maybe noticing how it feels to move your hands a little further apart. And then bring your hands closer together. And so you might notice that as we inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. Turn your palms face up. On inhale, reaching up to the sky, maybe feeling a lightness. And palms face down, a grounding sensation. Release your arms by your side. Turn your palms face up. Soft bend in your elbows, nothing rigid. Reach up into the sky. And then palms face down, ribs. Roll your shoulders up, back and down just a few times. And do a little shake up. And take a moment to rest. Let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. And so your natural rhythm. Nope. And so make sure that you're seated comfortably, effortlessly upright. So spine is long, front body is soft. And then push down through one foot and then push down through the other foot. So it might be an energetic pushing down. Just realize that I did bring a few of my yoga toys or my yoga toy box. One of them is a block. So sometimes it can be helpful to have a block between our thighs to cue hip distance. It might be that it's placed this way or maybe sideways. I know some of you, a friend of mine had a pummel to help facilitate with that. And so I'm going to place, actually I'm not going to place, I'm just going to go without. So we've pushed down through one foot, push down through the other, maybe an energetic pressing down. If you have a yoga buddy, they can maybe place their hands on your ankles or your knees to help ground. And then notice, do you feel one foot more than the other? And then maybe wiggling your toes, picking up your toes, and then pressing them back down. So micro movements, visualizing the movement. Feel as though you're doing the movement. Roll your shoulders up, back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then when you're ready, if it's easy for you, bring your hands into prayer pose. If placing your hands in prayer is not easy, an invitation to explore placing your hands on your Buddha belly. And from here, we'll transition into a practice called sun breath. So meditation on the heart. So sun, yang, heating. So whatever your placement of your hands are, bring them to your heart or to your belly. On your next inhale, extend your arms up and away. So it might be your arms are higher or lower than mine. So mine feel pretty good, almost parallel with my shoulders today. And then bring your hands back to your heart center or your Buddha belly. And so an invitation to keep this gentle heart opener flowing in your own time and rhythm for a few more breaths, for as long as feels comfortable. And then if you'd like, imagine the sun at your heart center. On your inhales, as you extend your arms up and away, imagine the rays of the sun radiating out all around you. And then gather that light and bring it back inside as a symbol of the light that's always inside us. Inhale. And this time, if you'd like to add a sound, let's explore making a humming sound. And of course, you're more than welcome to listen. Inhale. Inhale. So you might notice as you make the sound, it sounds a bit like a bumblebee, that it lengthens your exhale. Place one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And then maybe noticing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And so reach one hand across to your armpit, place the other on your shoulder, drop your chin towards your chest, round your spine. And so you're noticing how it feels to have your hands in this placement. So I like to call this an I love me bear hug. And then remember which hand or which arm is on top, and then stretch your arms up and out and visualize, imagine that we're sending everyone a virtual bear hug. And then cross the opposite arm over. So hand to armpit, opposite arm crosses over, hand to your shoulder if that works for you. Drop your chin towards your chest, round your spine. I love me. So repeating that if you like, out loud or whisper. And then as you're ready, one last time, waving or sending out a big hug to everyone. And then palms face down, release. And keep a shake. Pardon me. So I'm just going to check the time again. Yeah, so we have a few more moments. So let's do a little bit of a little more work with our hips and our lower back. And so I'd actually like to begin with balance, finding our balance exercise. And so make sure that you're seated comfortably, effortlessly, upright, shoulders up, back and down just a few times. Then draw your hands in towards your hip creases if that feels okay for you, or maybe making soft fists. And then moving with your breath, hinging from the hips, rock forward. So you might be visualizing the movement. So if you have osteoporosis, bulging disc, of course, forward folds are contraindicated. So honoring ahimsa, non-harming, coming to just that just right amount of effort and ease forward, and then rock back up. And so invitation to keep this gentle movement flowing in your own time and rhythm for a few more breaths. There's something about this rocking movement that our nervous system likes. And slowly finish up the movement that you're on. Release your arms by your side. Rest your hands on your lap. And let your belly soften. Breath is quiet. And then when you're ready, begin to sway from side to side. So maybe your hands are resting palm up or down as desired. Maybe holding the underside of your chair works. Extending beyond your wrists and your fingertips if your arms are relaxed by your side. And so it can be interesting to close our eyes as we practice these gentle movements. And when you're ready, maybe bending your elbows low in front of you. Find a space straight ahead that you can gaze on softly. And that helps us to focus our mind. And then transitioning into a gentle twist if you'd like. So keeping this twist flowing in your own time and rhythm. Or if you'd like to make it a little challenging today, bend your elbows, fingers reach to the sky, and moving with your breath from side to side. So I like to hear my breath as I'm practicing this movement. So I invite you to explore adding the breath piece if that works for you. Slowly finish up the movement that you're on. Float your arms down. Whew. And feel your work. Take a moment. And so, really, I heard a yoga teacher years ago, I read or heard her say that really the yoga happens between the poses and the movements. Notice how you feel. No judgment. And so, moving on, I'd like to invite you to reach your, I think I'll cue left, right for this piece for simplicity's sake, for me, for right now. Reach your left hand, and I'll mirror you over to your right near your thigh. Your right hand comes beside you on the chair behind you. They're coming into another version of a seated twist. And so you'll notice that we're already into the twist at this point. Let's see if we can go a little deeper. And so if you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, bulging disc, this is your pose today. You don't want to go any deeper. Otherwise, if you'd like to explore, for those of you who don't have those conditions, lengthen your spine, or even if you do, visualize some movement going a little deeper without doing it. So inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, going into your twist a little deeper. Close your eyes softly, focused inward, or soften your gaze. And see if you can avoid the temptation to move your head to its full range of motion. When you're ready, unwind. And we'll do the pose on the other side. So reach your right hand over to your left near your thigh. Left hand comes beside you on the chair or behind you. This might be your pose today. Perhaps you can go a little deeper. And so inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist. Our head turns last. And slowly unwind, lead back at center. And then rock and roll. So moving in and out of the twist. Reach up to the sky and then inhale, go into your twist on an exhale. So just a few more times in your own time and rhythm. Making sure that you go into the twist on your exhale. Otherwise, you are wasting your time. Finish up the movement that you're on. Float your arms down. And then take a moment, let your breath settle. And so we'll come into one more movement in the spine. So gentle twist, or pardon me, side bend, and then either visualized or actually coming into a version of a seated forward fold as a counter for the movements in the spine. So the side bends, a twist, pretty intense movements in the spine. So we need to realign our spine. So for this side bend, I'd like to invite you to take hold of the underside of the right side of your chair. Might be that you're resting your forearm if you have an armrest, or maybe you have a chair beside you and place your hand on if that works. So this is your yoga practice. I will do my best to guide you. And so release your opposite arm by your side, turn your palm face up, Soft bend in your elbow, nothing rigid. Reach your hand up. So it might be that we're placing our hands on our shoulder. Maybe it feels comfortable to reach up and over. So coming into the side bend. Turn your gaze downward, looking down towards the earth. And then breathe into your side body. Can you imagine breathing below your rib cage? Slowly float your arm down. We'll come into the pose on the other side. So take hold of the underneath of the left side of your chair or wherever you need to feel stable and balanced. Release your opposite arm by your side. So in this case, our right hand arm, palm face up, taking your hand up to your shoulder, bending our spine, or maybe it feels okay today to reach way up and over. Turn your gaze down towards the earth. And so stretching from our shoulder to our arm, beyond our wrists and fingertips. And then slowly come out of the pose on this side. Release both arms down by your side. Take a moment. Belly is soft, breath is quiet. And so as a counter, a seated forward bend. So it might be that you're visualizing the forward bend, sitting up tall. And so otherwise, maybe you could place a little yoga mat along your belly. If you happen to have one, it could be a little blanket. Yeah, I'm going to place mine aside. Or if you'd like, taking hold of the underside of your chair. Hinging from the hips, come forward. So it's not about seeing how far we can go. We just come to that just right amount of effort and ease. If you can walk your feet forward a little bit, bringing them a little wider than outer hip bone distance, if that's possible. It's okay to have your toes turned outward. And then breathe into your lower back. Or imagine that your lungs are in your lower back. Notice how you feel in the forward bend. So traditionally, forward bends are known to be calming. And then coming out of the pose slowly by pressing down through your inner heels. So it might be an energetic pressing down. Place one hand on each knee or thigh. And come on back up. And so come on, seated comfortably back in your chair in preparation for a short guided meditation and your final relaxation. So make sure that you are warm enough. So I'm just going to put this scarf around my neck, and I have a little kind of shawl thing I can put on my lap. So having a little bit of weight on our thighs, we can encourage a grounding sensation. So that the weight does not work for everyone, or it might be that you have a pet that you'd like to snuggle on your lap. A fur kid. I have a little bunny rabbit who's an indoor rabbit, so you won't see him today. And yeah, so getting whatever you need to sit comfortably. If you have the ability to recline in your chair, this is a lovely time to do it, making sure your head and neck is supported. Might, if you have eye pillows, a little weight, something that you can put in your hands, resting your palms face up with a little bit of weight in your hand can help soften our hands. And so shoulders up, back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. Close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. And so visualize, imagine that you're looking down and into your heart. See what you can see. And then breathe into your heart. So the meditation that I like to share is by Thich Nhat Hanh. And so it goes like this. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I calm my body. And breathing out, I feel ease. And breathing in, I calm my body. And breathing out, I release. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. And breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Come into whatever comfortable seated position you'd like for your final relaxation. Make sure that you have what you need. Blanket, support for your head and neck. Head and neck, if you need. And so I just looked at the time. A little bit challenged when it comes to time frames. And of course, I live in a rural community with lots of goings on in people's yards. So I think I might just invite you to place your hands at your heart. Put your heart to your hands, bow your head to your heart. Take a moment to honor yourself. And thank you to Emily and the Disability Foundation, ConnecTogether, for providing this opportunity for us to share yoga class together.